Antoine Rogers with another episode of Out and Up, where we encourage young athletes to achieve their very best outside of the game. And like every show, we're blessed to have another awesome guest. And y'all know how I do. I'm going to go ahead and let him introduce himself.
What's going on? My name is Austin Wilkes. I'm an incoming freshman at Presbyterian College and a Northwestern graduate.
Thank you, Austin, for joining us. You ready to get into the questions?
Let's get into it.
All right. First, where are you originally from, born and raised?
First off, I'm born and raised in Rock Hill, South Carolina. Been here my whole life, so Rock Hill, South Carolina.
All right. So you're a football player. When did you start playing?
Originally, I started playing the ball when I was around, I want to say maybe 6 or 7 years old. I started off with a little league team. Go by the Rock Hill Cowboys. Started off with them for a little bit. Then after that, I went to go on to start playing football at my elementary school, where I went and played there for about three to 4 years. We were the Indian Hook Elementary School Pirates.
All right. What position do you play?
What position did I play? Do I play currently or when I first started?
Well, let us know when you first started and then what you currently play now.
Gotcha. Well, when I first started playing football, I was kind of all over the place. I started off playing a little bit of defensive end. Then I made the transition from defensive end to a running back. I played running back all the way up until I was into the 7th or the 8th grade. And when, running back was like, it was almost like my secondary position. It wasn't what I was the best at, but it was something that I enjoyed doing. But the primary position that I played corner. Going into my 7th and 8th grade year, I played a lot of corner. And as I said before, I didn't really like playing corner like that. I like being an offensive player, getting the ball, running the ball. Everybody, they see you with the ball in the open field, they yelling, they screaming, they calling your name, you score a touchdown. So I was in love with that aspect of the game. I guess you can say the attention that came with it, the love and the praise that came with it. But a little bit later on, I started playing defense. I started taking the defensive side of the game very serious, and I loved it. So, like I said, 7th, 8th grade, I played a lot of corner. Got to 9th grade, 10th grade, still was playing a lot of corner. My 11th grade year came, and all of a sudden we made a huge change. And instead of me playing corner, I was playing like sort of a box safety, a hybrid in a sense. And it was I fell in love with it. I fell in love with that position. So it was a big change going from being on the island to being in the box, having to walk down on the line of scrimmage, ready to stuff a run or go on a blitz, and then rolling up top to safety. So it was just it was a lot going on that I really enjoyed it. Even going into college as a freshman, that's the position I play now, as a sort of a safety, strong safety type of thing.
All right. Well, cool. So now playing the cornerback position, you kind of touched on it. That wasn't necessarily a choice up front, but what do you enjoy most in playing that position? Do you still enjoy the coverage part of it, or have you gotten used to just coming up making those hits? Like, what is it that you enjoy the most about playing that position?
You get to show off your versatility at the position. Not only can in order to play defense or play some kind of skill position on the defensive side of the ball, you got to be able to cover. But with the strong safety, not only do you have to know how to cover, you have to be able to cover. You have to be able to read a defense. You have to be able to see, okay, what formation do I have? Okay, do I got a trips look? Do I have a tray? Do I have a duel? Do I have a disco? Like all of these different formations. Okay, what do I have? I have to be able to understand and read those. When you're playing corner, the only person that you got to read is that man in front of you. But playing at a safety, you have to be able to recognize all of those things. You have to, like I said, you have to be able to know how to cover. And when it's a run play, you still got to be able to come down and make those tackles. So I just love that you're able to show up your entire skill set at that safety position.
Have you played any other sports in your youth?
I played some other sports while I was in middle school. I know in middle school I played basketball and I ran some track. Even in my elementary school days, I played a little bit of baseball as well. But once I got to high school, I knew what my goals were, and I wanted to kind of just put all of my eggs into one basket. And I just stayed focused on football.
All right. and I don't think I covered this earlier, but what was the whole inspiration behind football?
The whole inspiration behind it was my dad. I'm gonna be honest. It was my dad. My dad, he played football when he was in high school and middle school. The times where I would go over to my grandparents' house and I would see his pictures, I'd just be like, man, that looks pretty cool. The big shoulder pads and the helmet. You know, he played for the Chester Cyclones, and their logo or their logo was a cyclone. So seeing the big red cyclone on the side of the helmet, the big single digit numbers, and you know, just that everything about the whole game, it just looked amazing. And even watching games on TV, we Cowboy fans, so we might get a lot of backlash for that. But I'm a Cowboy fan, so you know, just watching the Cowboys on TV every Sunday, occasionally on Thursdays and Mondays, just watching the game, falling in love with the game, and it was just it's great. It's great. I love it.
That's cool. I won't hold the whole Cowboys thing against you. But I'm a Chicago Bears fan myself. But that's cool. That's cool. I don't have no problems with the Cowboys. Hopefully, Cowboys and Bears do a little bit better this season. I mean, you all continue to do a good job. Let's hope that Cowboys can make it over that hump when it comes to the postseason. So good to hear that. So speaking of pros, are you a student of the game? Do you watch a lot of film? Do you have some old school favorite players?
Yeah, I watch a lot of film. I mean, when I was in high school, a lot of people they don't understand. I feel like, a lot of people just don't understand the importance of watching film and sitting down and studying. The game, you are able to break the game down and slow it down a lot by watching film. And you might ask, okay, well, what do you mean by slow the game down? I know a lot of my coaches in high school and even my coaches tell me in college, because I was in summer school in college. They just say, break the game down, and watching film and watching tendencies of, for me it's wide receivers. I looked at the tendencies of wide receivers. Okay, you got your right foot up. When you got your right foot up, you like to go left. Okay, now you got your left foot up. When you got your left foot up, you like to go the other direction. So just watching the game and breaking down those type of things and just watching those tendencies, it allows you to see the game at a different speed and at a different rate. So as far as being a student of the game, that's very important for me. That's something that I highly take a lot of pride in.
Cool. So in regards, you talked about it a little bit already in your position that you play. And I'm asking this question because I have a son that's a junior and he plays at Albright College in Pennsylvania. And so I know with some kids, as you transition to college, sometimes because of their team and the personnel they have, sometimes there's talks of moving you around different places. Have you already kind of solidified and talking to the coaches, you'll probably be locked in at the same position you was playing in high school?
Yeah, me and the coaching staff, we've been talking about some of the best things that's in the best interest of the team. And as of right now, they have me playing sort of a field safety, and that's basically like your free safety. So it's not what I've been playing over the summertime is not necessarily the same thing as what I played in high school, but for the most part, it's still a safety. So it's slightly different, but at the same time, it isn't. But at the end of the day, if the coach tells me that he wants me to line up at corner, if you want me to line up to the boundary safety, I'm fine with it. I'm willing to do whatever it takes to help the team.
That's good, man. Awesome mindset. So many young people don't grasp the mindset of it not ultimately being about them especially when you move on. I mean, it should be the mindset on any level, but definitely as you move on to these higher levels, high school and college, you have to understand that it is a team sport. And sometimes you may have to do things that will be better off for the team. So it's just awesome to hear you say that, Mr. Wilkes, and hoping the young people that's listening will catch a grasp, because I know so many athletes, man, I want to be a back. I want to be this. And even again, just touching on my son, he made, got some accolades, all county up in the New Jersey area at running back. He also played cornerback, but he gets to college and he ended up kind of playing the same kind of corner position you were playing, where he played a lot on the line and was doing a lot of blitzing. So that was sort of new for him, but he adjusted. And here going into his junior year, new coaching staff at his school, and he's getting the opportunity to go back to offense where he's going to end up playing a slot position. So he totally, again, caught that. He talked about it. You know, the coaches talked to him prior to him even entering his freshman year. So I think it's important that young people have that open mindset. I'm going into a program that's investing in me, and I need to be willing to do whatever it takes to help the team. So thank you for that answer. So let's get into some of your high school career, man. Like, what was some of the biggest highlights, man? And you did go to Northwestern all 4 years of high school?
Yes, sir.
What were some of your highlights at Northwestern, man?
A lot of my highlights came from the postseason. I had a lot of postseason highlights. I know when the stakes are on the line, you have to be able to show up. I know two of my favorite games that I ever played in high school were playoff games. One of them being my 11th grade year. It was versus Dorman. I came in the second half because at the time I was a reserve in my 11th grade year. So I came off the bench. Suddenly was ready, prepared, and I had one of the best halves or best games I've ever played in my life. The crowd was real into it. I was able to make some big plays in the backfield, and it was just it was a great time. Another one, I guess, another one of my highlights that you can say I had was my last high school game. It was versus Gaffney High School. Gaffney High, they had an insane backfield, two great running backs. You know, they rushing for over 150 yards a game apiece. So, you know, we going in, we have a great game plan to try to contain, you know, their two stars. And, you know, for us, we were able to hold both of those running backs to under 50 yards a game. So,
wow.
So just going into those games, and, you know, the atmosphere is loud, everything's packed, and, you know, everybody's on the edge of their seat. You know, we're on edge, we're locked in, we're willing to do whatever it takes. So, I mean, you know, a lot of my highlights or a lot of my most memorable moments from being a high school athlete came from the postseason, because, like I said, everything's on the line.
Oh,
it's about who wants it more.
That's good. That's good. So you're blessed to now be at Presbyterian College. And Presbyterian College, for those that don't know, is what division?
It's a Division I.
Division I school. And so it just speaks to the gift and the talent that you have, being blessed to go to Presbyterian. Like, in the process of thinking about what school you wanted to go to, what were some of the things that you were looking at before making that decision?
I wanted to go to a place that felt like home. I wanted to go to a place that I felt like I would be accepted. Like, when I go here, do you know who I am before I go here? Like I said previously, academics is very important to me. And Presbyterian College is a school that's heavily involved with their academics. I wanted to go. Another big reason I wanted to go to this school, I've had looks from schools like, you know, USC and, you know, Clemson, Coastal Carolina, you know, looks from those schools. But the thing that made Presbyterian College stand out for me more than those other schools is kind of the classroom size. Like, you know, when you're in, you know, those bigger schools, the professors, they don't know who you are. Their job is to go in, teach, give a lecture, and go home. And they're doing this in front of over 150 students at a time. And I personally, I just feel like that's not the best way for me to learn and grasp onto something. I like a smaller classroom. You know, Presbyterian, we have a little bit under 1,200 students there. So it's just those classroom sizes are, you know, 30 kids in a classroom at a time. So everybody knows everybody on campus. We all have a good relationship with each other. So that was a part of the reason why I chose a smaller college at Presbyterian versus a bigger college. You know, very minimal distractions. You know, you just go and you're locked in. You really don't have a choice because, like I said, it's so small. It's not like you can just go out and do whatever you want to do. You locked in or you're not. So that had a big part of, you know, why I made my decision. The academics, and I just wanted to go to a place that felt like home.
That's good. That's good. At what stage and what level in high school did you kind of have that mindset? You know what, I believe I could play on the next level. At what grade did you kind of feel like you had that capability or would have that opportunity to move on in your career?
Um, I felt like that every since I got to college. I mean, not college, but ever since I got to high school, I always felt like I had the ability to play at the next level. I've always felt like that. The crazy thing is that I didn't get my opportunity until I was a senior. I didn't start in one game of high school until I was a senior. So it kind of goes back to I've always had that mindset, but ninth grade, at Northwestern, all of us started off on the freshman team. 10th grade, I was on the JV team my sophomore year. My junior year, going into the season, I was a start. I was supposed to be a starter, but with some changes were made, and then it didn't work out that way. Later on in the postseason, I was able to kind of get an opportunity, and I made some big plays, and I kind of stood out. But not until my senior year, I got that opportunity that I felt like I deserved. And with that being said, it's just important to make the most of your opportunities. A lot of kids go into high school with 4 years on varsity, getting looks at the end of their 10th grade, some people ninth grade year, and that wasn't me. I wasn't able to start getting looks until I was a senior. And like I said, it just goes back to, like I said, you got to be able to make the most of your opportunity because you don't know how big of a window you actually have. So
that's good. That's good. And I just think that it speaks volumes just in that the entire time you said you felt like you had the ability to play on the next level. But so many young athletes have probably been in your position, and somewhere during the journey, they may kind of throw the towel in because they're not getting the attention and not getting the play time that they feel like they either should be getting or that they want to get. And you just kind of kept your foot to the pedal. You stayed focused on what you need to do. You was prepared when those opportunities came, whether postseason in your 11th grade year or even on into your senior year. And here you are going to a Division I school. So awesome job, Mr. Wilkes, man. And I think you're a perfect example for the young athlete and just staying locked into what you need to do. Control. I always like this said, I heard it said by a speaker before, control the controllables. You do what you can do within your control, and then everything else to kind of handle itself. So
there was some times where I'm not gonna lie, I did want to throw in the white towel. Like, going into my sophomore year, I was on varsity my sophomore year, but I made the decision to go down to the JV team because at my position, because at the time, like I said, I was playing corner. It's like 4 senior corners right there. So I was on the varsity team my sophomore year. I made a decision to step down, I was okay with that. I didn't mind doing that. I wanted to further try to unlock my potential, and that wasn't going to be done by playing on the bench. Sitting on the bench. So, like I say, even going into my junior year, my junior year was rough. Like, going into the year, like I was a starter going into all the jamborees and all the scrimmages. I'm out there with the first group. A week before the first game, a drastic change was made, and I go with leaving my sophomore year. I'm being told, hey, you're going to be a starter. You're going to do big things. We got a big role for you to fill. And a week before the first game, we're going to make a change. And it was just like, in my opinion, I didn't do anything wrong for that opportunity to be taken away from me. But like I said, at the time, that was rough. That was very rough. It didn't really suit me too well. But going throughout the season, I seen that it wasn't my time just yet. And like I said, going at the beginning, I was angry. I was upset. I just felt like everything was against me. But going throughout the season, I'm sitting back and I'm watching. I'm like, it's not my time just yet. But when you do have that opportunity, or when that opportunity does present itself, you better be ready. Like I told myself that all the time. And like I said, we're playing against Dorman. Dorman we were 2 games away from the state. Something, some things happened. My number got called, and the second half of the game, I was ready, and I got the opportunity that I was looking for, and I made the most out of it. So,
Okay.
like I said, it was times I wanted to throw in the white towel, but sometimes like with younger athletes and younger people don't really understand is that you got to sometimes you got to wait your turn. For some people, they don't have to wait as long, but for others, you're gonna have to wait. And it's nothing to get discouraged by. I mean, sometimes you just gotta be patient. And
Right.
that's key. Having patience is key. So
that's good, man. That's definitely good advice, man. Just being patient and waiting for your turn. So your turn has come. You're blessed to make it on to the D1 level, and going to Presbyterian. So what has this summer been like prior to suiting up for the first time at Presbyterian? Like what has it been like in the preparation and the transition? Did you start any early classes or not yet?
yeah, I have. I've started 2 early classes in the summer. Since I've been in college. I'm actually home for a week. I have they wanted to give us some time off before fall camp started. But man, I'm not gonna lie, it was rough. It was an experience, for me being here for all my life, and then all of a sudden I'm somewhere else where I'm not familiar with. I'm not able to sleep in my own bed or eat my own snacks, or if I wanted to go talk to my mom, my brother, my sister, my dad, they ain't nothing but a room away. But I gotta call them now because I'm my hour and some change away. So it took a lot to get used to. But I'm glad I went during the summertime, so I was able to experience those things now, and rather than later. So I mean, it was an experience. It was an experience, being away from home, and just it was an experience. But everything happens for a reason. It was a good experience. I'm glad I went through that. Because at some point, as a kid, you go be on your own at some point, and the sooner that happens, the better, because you'll be able to adjust and just kind of come to terms with a lot of things and find out a lot of things about yourself as well.
That's good. That's good. So just as we kind of try to wrap up the football end of it, like what has the transition been like when it comes to workout and training from now high school to college? What has that transition been like? I see you laughing already.
Oh man, yeah, it's crazy. It's high school is high school is nothing compared to college as far as workouts go. I mean, you outside all day. I mean, you wake up 5:30 in the morning, got to be at lifts at 6 o'clock, and you don't leave to 7:30. And this is just summer. Like I mean, I have an idea what fall is like. What I'm just telling you about summer. So you do those things, and after you get your workouts in, they end at 7:30. You got to be prepared to go to a meeting for an hour and a half. And then after your meetings, you got to go outside for walkthroughs for an hour, and then practice is an hour and 30 minutes long. So, I mean, it almost turns into a job, and it's you kind of question how much you actually love the game of football, because at this point it's like I said, it turns into a job. Do you love it or do you like it? If you love it, you'll be able to hang on. If you like it, you really don't care for it, but you just do it just to do it, then you might have some troubles, because the coaches they try to break you. They try to see who can handle it and who can't handle it. They want to test your mental, because all of the workouts they're doable. It's not like you can't do them, but they test your mental, and they want to see who can handle it and who can't handle it.
Okay. All right. Now, I know, and again, having a son that's playing college ball, these are conversations we had. Like, were you the athlete that did a lot post your senior season to kind of start getting ready, or did you kind of take some time off?
No, I did. I knew what type of athlete and what type of player I wanted to be. So as soon as the season ended, I kind of did take a break from the field part of it, but as far as staying active and staying in the gym, I did all of those things. But I know what type of player I wanted to be, and taking time off, and just I knew I wasn't gonna get to where I wanted to be doing those type of things.
Cool, cool. So you touched on it a little bit. Let's get into academics, man. Like, how important is academics to you? Because we know what you call a student athlete. How important is academics to you?
Academics is very important. Academics, they come first. Those what you learn in school, that's what helps you to go on and find a career. Um, you know, people who don't go to college, it's a little. I guess you could say it's a little bit harder. It can be a little bit harder for those people. But at the end of the day, they can. With hard work, you can achieve anything. So, just going to school and working hard, and being able to achieve my goals. That's what I go there for. I go there to achieve my goals and to ultimately become successful.
All right. So how was the classroom for you at Northwestern? I want to ask you a lot about Presbyterian because, like you said, you're taking some summer classes, but you didn't get to the full stride yet, of the school year. But just like how was the classroom and how difficult was it for you when it came to work? Just our young people listen, man. Just give them some advice when it comes to just like getting through the academic and keeping the balance when it comes to sports and keeping your grades intact.
All right. Well, personally for me, high school wasn't hard. It was a challenge, but for me it wasn't hard. You just needed to have a little effort. Like if you just try, you'll be able to get by. Now I didn't want to just get by. I wanted to, honor roll, A's, B's. I wanted that. But as far as like high school and middle school, like you just gotta put a little effort in, and you'll be able to get by. So it's just, it's not hard. I mean, it's doable, but at the end of the day, like this, just put a little effort in. So that's all that matters.
All right. Now, did you have in high school, did you have a certain way you kind of tackle, practice versus getting your study time in? Did you have a regiment that you use? I feel like giving everybody's different regimen kind of helps the young athlete when they watch shows to kind of say, okay, well, this don't work for me. Let me try this. And I know everybody has to find what works for them. Like, did you have a specific regimen with keeping a balance with the two?
Right. So yeah, during when I was in high school, I worked a job. So I was working, playing sports, and then like how we was talking about before that, the academics. So just anytime I had any type of free time to do anything, that's what I would do. The teacher there, you say, okay, last 15 minutes of class, y'all can just do whatever. So you will have one crowd that's chilling, talking on the phone, doing their thing. But with me, knowing that I would have to manage my time and be responsible with how I do things, I would take those 15 minutes. Okay, do I have any assignments that I need to do that could that'll be quick? Do I have time to study something? Like I just any type of free time that I had, I just made the most of it.
That's good. That's good. So I'll ask as we kind of round off the academic and like, what is it that drives you to be so focused on classroom? I know some student athletes is solely about sports. However, anybody that's been watching over the last 2 seasons, the goal with Out and Up is really to encourage our young athletes to have an identity outside the sport, which ultimately means you need to be focused on the classroom first so that you're developing yourself for whatever your career is going to be outside of the sport. What is it that kept you focused and really grounded with the mindset that you have about being serious about the academics? What is it that drives you?
Well, it's a few things, but the I guess you can say the main thing that drives me is I like I said, I have goals for myself, and people can want things for you, and people can say, hey, I want you to be successful, and they might be able to chip in and help you out with things. But if you don't have a type of a self drive or a self motivation to do things on your own because you want to do those things, it'll be very hard for you to accomplish anything in life. You have to want it for yourself. Nobody can want something more for you than you want it for yourself. Because at the end of that's going to cause a problem. So like I said, I just had my self drive, my self motivation, just because like I said, I have goals and I know what it takes for me to achieve my goals and what it takes for me to get there. I just I drove myself. I pushed myself every day, and My parents had a lot. I have a lot to do with it too. I have two great parents. I see them every day, and just seeing everything that they're willing to sacrifice and seeing everything that they're willing to do for me and my brothers and my sisters just to make sure that we have the best life that we possibly can. The least I can do is make good grades. I mean, that's the least I can do. You know what I'm saying? Like right now, I wish I could go and, buy them a new house or buy them a new car or just, go out and just make insane purchases, but I'm not able to do that right now. So the least I can do is just be respectful, do the things that they ask for me to do and just go to school and make good grades. So I mean, self-drive and like I said, my parents, they have a lot to do with that as well.
That's good. That's good. So you're going into Presbyterian. Do you have an idea? I mean, like, what's going to be your major, and what's some of your career goals outside of the sport? I'm going to ask a question in regards to sports long term. But what's your goals as far as career outside of sports? What are some things you're looking at?
Gotcha. So I know going into college, I majored in biology. I'm fascinated with like how the human body works and the anatomy behind the human body, and not only that, I love helping people. I love talking to people, having conversations with people. These are things that could help you get to where you need to get to. So it's just like I say, with me being fascinated in the human body and talking to people, I decided to major in biology.
Okay. All right. So I'm gonna touch on the football and real quick. Like, what's your long-term goals when it comes to football? Like some people have a mindset, hey, I want to play X amount of years. I would like to play beyond college. Like, do you have some immediate goals that you set when it pertains to your football career?
Oh yeah, of course. One of my goals I plan on, starting as a true freshman in college. I feel like that'd be great. Coming in as a true freshman, like I said, everything that I went through, in high school, with having to wait my turn and just being patient, just get going to college and seeing all of those things pay off. Starting as a true freshman, being a leader on the team. Those are some of my goals going into my freshman year. Like I said, I love the game of football. That's something I want to be able to do for a long time.
That's good. That's good. So we've touched on academics. We've touched on football. What are some things that Mr. Austin Wilkes does in his spare time?
Some of the things that I do in my spare time, man. Well, not to hit the football button again, but I do train a lot. Like I said, with being a Division I athlete and being an athlete in general, and collegiate athlete, you really don't have a lot of free time. If you're not in a meeting, you're lifting weights. If you're not lifting weights, you're at practice. If you're not doing that, you're studying. But I mean, I hop on the game. This not too much. I'd be doing what I can.
Okay. All right. So we're going to round it up, man. One question I love to ask young people, and I think it's important that young people get to hear the various answers we get. But how important is it for you to have positive people in your circle?
It means everything. Like, I believe in the saying that you're a product of your environment, and without those positive people in your circle, it can be very hard. You can be down, and without those positive people to pick you up, you could feel empty. You could feel like it's not a lot of things to live for and a lot of things to work for. So with those positive people in your life, those are the people that you can lean on at any time if you ever needed them. So those positive people are very important, because without those positive people, it's hard to grow. If you're hanging around people that are negative all the time, you can be here, but just because you put yourself around those people, or that might just be what it is. You will have to bring yourself down. But when you're around positive people, they try to do everything they can to bring you up and to elevate you, and they want to see you succeed and put you on a different level. So being around those people, they do nothing but elevate you. They don't do anything but help you grow. So I feel like it's very important to put yourself around positive people all the time. Very important. And very important to put yourself around people that you have the same goals as also. Because like I said before, if you put yourself around people who don't have the same goals as you, you're going to ultimately bring yourself down. But once you are around those people who have the same mindset as what you got, you can do nothing but go up.
That's good, man. That's good. So for the young athlete watching, man, like if you can put in a few words, like give some advice just as you think about the journey that you've gone through high school and getting to where you're at today. Give the young student athlete who aspires to play on the next level out of high school, Division I possibly, or even just college football, because young people don't know it's an accomplishment to play college football, period, or play college sports, period. So whether Division III, II, I, whatever division you're playing, it's an awesome accomplishment. So I want my viewers to know that first. But give the advice to the young student athlete on just some things they can do to really stay focused, grounded, and preparing themselves to play on another level.
Well, first off, your character will take you a long way. Without having a solid character, it's hard to get to the places that you want to go. You can't go around thinking that the world is against you, because I promise you it's not. There are people there in your corner, and there's people that actually do care about you. And it's important to value those aspects in life. So, going into college or going into any situation, it's always important to have a great character. Even when those colleges, or when they coming in to recruit, I've been in my coach's office before, and the things that he would tell me, they ask about how good of a football player you are. I mean, that's what they're here for. But they want to know what type of young man you are as well. They want to know what type of young woman, young lady that you are. So your character takes you a long way in life. And not, like I say, not only in sports, but it takes you a long way in life. So it's always good to treat people right. It's always good to think about the things that you say before you say them. And it's very important to just always be open-minded as well. You can't have a closed, you can't be closed-minded. You can't. So it's just, just have a good character, stay open-minded, be willing to take criticism. There's nothing wrong with being criticized. But all in all, just have a good character, stay on top of the books, and just ball. Do whatever it is that you do. Just ball.
That's good, man. Well, we thank you for joining us. And my last question we always ask as we get to the end, unless I pop up with 20 other questions, but we always ask this as we close. Who or what is it that inspires you in life?
Man, that's a good question. Well, I can I don't know. But it's really two people. It's really two people who have inspired me throughout my whole life. And those people are my mom and my dad. My mom and my dad, I know what type of life they had before they got to where they are now, and I know the type of things that they had to sacrifice to get where they at. And now as well, like my dad, he didn't go to college. He, as soon as he graduated from high school, he went into the workforce. He started working. He started working when he was my age, 18 years old. And, now he's on the back half of his 40s, and he's still working. And he's doing good. He's doing amazing, I should say. He's doing amazing. But, there's certain things that he tells me all the time that those things that he tells me, they never will get away from me. Ever since I was little, he'd come up to me before dropping me off at school to wake me up in the morning. Today is a new day. Make great decisions and think about your actions before you make. Because it takes 5 seconds to make a decision, but those 5 seconds can determine the rest of your life. And, as a son, hearing that from his father, those are big words. And I never really understood what they meant until I got older. And as I got older, I would just sit. I would just think about it. Make good decisions. Think about what you do before you do it. It's good to be able to make your own decisions for yourself. But at the end of the day, you got to know who you're doing it for as well. You got to understand that, like for me, my dad, he sacrificed so many things, so much of his free time, working 6 days out of the week, 12 hours, getting 1 day off out of the whole week. Like that's a sacrifice. Like, I'm around my dad a lot and we have a great relationship. I wish that we could be together 24/7, but in order for me to have the life that I have now, in order for me to be where I am now, it all comes with a sacrifice. And life comes with sacrifices. And that's something that I understand. Even with my mom being a teacher, and she worked with, adult education. And, in adult education, not only are they getting it in the morning time, in the afternoon, they staying overnight. You know what I'm saying? So my mom she makes sacrifices. She went to college and she got her degree and she's doing good. But like I said, in life comes with consequences. I know for a fact I can call my mama in here right now and say, "Mama, I need you. I need something." I could call her right now and she would drop everything that she's doing because she's not home right now. She would drop everything that she's doing to come and make sure that I'm good. Because at the end of the day, that's all that matters as a parent. Make sure your children are good. And like I said, that comes with sacrifices. So when it comes down to my mom and my dad, those are the best people I've ever met. And those are people that I want to be like. And like I said, when you think about my dad, the way that I talk about him as a man, I've said all the time, I always want to be better than my father. But he set such a good example that even though that's my goal, I know that's gonna be a hard goal to accomplish because of how good of a man, how good of a father he is.
That's good. That's good. And awesome answer, man. I think it speaks to this, man. I hope kids catch it, man. Just appreciating those positive people that you have in your life. You're blessed to have your moms and pops who have been beautiful examples for you to kind of follow and definitely an inspiration in your life. But just a young athlete watching, just notice those people who inspire you, those people that are working hard and being an example. Sometimes we look to the wrong people and we can miss the very blessings that we have right in our circle. And so I just encourage the young athlete to notice those people who are being a great example. Make sure you're following in their steps and at least learning things from them to help you during your journey. Man, Mr. Wilkes, man, it's been an awesome interview, man. I appreciate you for joining us today. Thank you, man.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you.
As you all know, every show I say it, and we're now in our third season, blessed to be off and just continuously running. The prayers that we continue to grow and just the young people who are able to see our shows. But I thank Mr. Austin Wilkes for joining us today. And he's just giving some awesome information. But y'all know what I say at the end of every show. It is good to be great in the sport that you're playing, but it's even better to be great in life. So if you're truly trying to achieve your very best outside of the game, y'all know I'm always beating in the head. Let's stop allowing these sports to be our identity. Remember, it's the thing that you do, but it's not who you are. I challenge you to go outside of the game, to notice who you are, achieve your very best, continue to join us, and let's go out and